All right, we are live. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Chris, and this is my channel. We love comics. It is now currently 12:05 in the afternoon Eastern Time here in sunny Florida. Hope you guys are doing well. And I got a Grail comic I wanted to do an unboxing with. I actually won it on eBay on Friday and got it actually yesterday, which was Monday. But it wasn't until the probably about 7 o'clock at night, so I just thought it wasn't a good time to make a video. So I'm waiting until today with eager anticipation. If you look on the bottom of this AI art thumbnail that I made here, and as always, I'd love to hear your opinion about these things. I'm still looking to see if anybody's interested in doing any trades. So far, not one person has even inquired about it, but if you look on the bottom of the screen that's scrolling right now, I'm actually showing comics that I am actually interested in acquiring. Of course, if there's something that he didn't mention that catches my attention, I'm more than willing to listen. But I did a video probably about a week or two ago about comics that I would be willing to trade. So if you haven't seen that video, I hope you do, and you can contact me about that. But until somebody wants to do a trade, got to go the old-fashioned way. And because I sold a bunch of comics in my live auction, and I'll probably do another one again in another couple of months, and somebody ordered a mystery box. I won't say their name, but if they want to mention it in the comment section, because they do make videos, so if they do a video of that, I'll be more than happy to share it. But somebody just ordered a $2,500 mystery box. They told me they got it already, and they're very happy with the comics that I sent. You know, a lot of people I've seen do mystery boxes like $10, $20, and you're going to get $10 and $20 worth of comics, maybe 40. I make sure you're going to get nothing but good issues, key issues with boxes like that. But I do, and you can check the description of this video for the link to my web store. And I do anything from a $20 mystery box, which is basically just generic comics, up to a $5,000 one, so hopefully you'll check it out. And if they do make a video, I will post a link so you could check out the comics that I included in his mystery box, so thank you for that. And so with the money, I tried to make some deals this week. I got 2 other comics on their way, got some really good prices, and this is what I tell people. You know, sometimes you can have some dry spells, sometimes you can kind of think, you know, things aren't going to go the way they are, and, you know, and things can get complicated, we'll put it that way. And if you guys have been watching my channel, you know for the past year, things have been a little challenging. But when you don't give up, eventually things will turn around. When I was able to sell a lot more than I thought I was going to in that auction, I was able to pay off a lot of my bills and have a little bit of money left over. And I bought this and 2 other comics. And before I start unveiling what it is, I want to say hello to Joey the Stuntmaster, always in my live chats. Welcome to see you. John Rowe, Florence Chestnut, one of my moderators. Welcome to see you. It's been a while. And Junior, I'm going to pronounce this wrong, Aiguayo. I don't even know why I try. Let's just say hello to Junior, because I mispronunciate people's names. And one thing I've learned about people's names, they're not always pronounced the way they're spelled. So forgive me if I totally butchered that. Welcome to you guys in the live chat. Even if you're not a subscriber, you can join the live chat and join into the conversation. And I always encourage that. And 4 people have already hit the like button, so thank you for that. All right, let me put on the video camera. Let's give a little details on this. And of course, I always will tell the significance of the book. I will tell you the price I paid, which includes shipping and taxes. Because, you know, the one bad thing about eBay is nowadays, and I think they've been doing it for the past year and a half, they now charge you tax, which on an expensive book, you know, can add a lot of extra money on there. And that's one of the reasons why people like myself and others that do the live auctions are some good ways to be able to buy comics. And even if you paid the same price you would have won on eBay, keep in mind you wouldn't have to pay the taxes, because we don't charge, at least I don't. I can't speak for anybody else, but I can pretty much safely say I'm sure no one on YouTube charges for tax on there. I mean, they could, but I know I don't, and I'm sure many others do not as well. But that's a good way to save yourself some extra money, is by buying from live shows like mine and others. So let's get into this. Daniel Davis, welcome. So I got this on eBay. This was a newly listed comic. It is a Grail comic. It's not one that I have... Well, I'll always want this comic. This is one of the things I tell people. I have multiple copies of this book. I tell people the advantages of having multiple copies, if you can get them, is you can use them for trade, and you can use them to sell if you have to. Let's say you have 5 copies of something. If you sell 4 of them to maybe buy a better Grail comic you're looking for, or pay some bills or whatever, you still have one left. So I always tell people, if you can, and there are deals out there, get multiple copies of very key issues. So this is one of those. It's not one of the ones that I listed that I'm looking to trade for, but you know what? I'm not going to complain. Anytime I see this book and there's a price that I can afford and I have the income, rest assured, I will acquire it. So this person just listed it, and one of the things, I have videos that teach people my secrets. You know, I could easily keep them to myself and profit thoroughly about them, but I like to share my information. Now, this person, one thing I will always tell people, if you order anywhere online, unless it's a business, they pretty much know how to protect the comics that you buy. Never assume a person knows or cares about how to properly send a comic in the mail. So this comic, this seller, when I want it, I made sure I notify him like I do to everybody, and I ask him if you could please put several pieces of cardboard, which they did, if they can mail it in a box, which they did, and protect it so it cannot fold. They did. I asked them if they could write fragile, do not crush. They did all of that. Now, that doesn't guarantee everybody's going to do that, but I've had many a time where people were not thinking about that, and my information helped them. All right, so they put some bubble wrap. They put some protection on the edges. Box arrived safely. They put more cardboard underneath. So packaging, they did a great job. So I'm very excited about that. They did show me all of the images that they were taking, which I appreciate sellers like that. Communication is key, because, you know, anybody can sell to anybody once. But if you do the right thing, chances are you'll probably do business with them again. And repeat business is what separates any seller from a reliable seller. And that's why when I do my auctions, I get many people that order from me very expensive books, because they know they will arrive safe. All right, so this is exactly what they said it was. I'm going to show it to you, tell you the price I paid, and then we'll go from there. So if you want to make a guess of what you think this comic might be, you could put it in the comment section if you're live, or you could put it, I'm sorry, in the live chat if you're live, or you could put it in the comment section later. But let me see. Oh, good. Okay, so the person, Jacob Morgan, is the one that bought that $2,500 mystery box. And he said, thanks, Chris, for the mystery box. Already shot the video. I'm looking forward to that. So, Jacob, when you get the chance, post the link in the comments section. I want to make sure everybody gets the opportunity to see it, and maybe, hopefully, they will subscribe to your channel. But if you want to mention quickly your experience with that, and confirm that you did buy a $2,500 mystery box, so no one can say I'm just making up numbers, and they are available. And that's actually not even my most expensive mystery box. I even do a $5,000 mystery box, but I do them as low as $20. So Jacob, if you want to share any of your experience in the live chat, I'd greatly appreciate that. And so he does make videos, so if you want to subscribe to his channel, I will post the link, so he'll be one of the surprise subscriber shout-outs. I'll pick somebody else at the end as well. But go check out his channel. Give him a like. Give him a subscribe. So we got Super Mars says, been a while since I've been here. Glad to see you're still doing what we all love. Thank you. I appreciate it. Welcome to see you as well. GT Key Comic, another one of my moderators, is here. Jason Brazier, welcome. All right, so here's the book. I highly recommend getting this. This is still a book that has so much more room to grow. It dipped a little bit. That's when you take advantage. Most people, when they see dips of something that has value, they get very scared and they sell off thinking, oh, it's never going to rise again. Unfortunately, most people, they base things on emotion instead of thinking how things are supposed to be when it comes to investing in anything. Buy low and sell high. So if you know something is a grail, for example, and you see the price go down, instead of getting scared, be glad that you now have a possible buying opportunity that you may not have gotten a year, 2 years, 10 years ago. So here's the book. We got Incredible Hulk, number 181. And I will open this up now live because it does have the Marvel stamp according to the seller. They did show an image, but I will never assume that somebody, I mean, they've done a good job, but I also want to make sure for myself that the Marvel stamp is in there, because if you guys have been watching my channel for a while, you know that years back I purchased a Hulk 180. They showed an image of the Marvel stamp in the auction, and when I got it home, I opened it up, and the Marvel stamp was indeed cut out. So never assume that somebody is going to be honest. But in this case, there is the Marvel stamp. So this person is an honorable person. Now, this did have writing on it. It does have a stain. It's got a little bit of, somebody did some math on the book. Hopefully they solved the equation. They did another one there, so maybe the person was doing their taxes and they didn't have a piece of paper. Now, it does have a spine split to about from here down. I already knew about that, but it is complete. Staples are intact. I don't know what this is, but you can see there's a stain. Looks like somebody maybe spilled coffee. That goes all the way down the book. I knew about that. This person had several images. It does bleed through a little bit, but not completely. I don't care. Now, this book is a book I highly recommend getting. Now, this is why I always tell people, always check new listings. Because this person, and I'm going to seal this up, this person had it listed as a buy it now, best offer, which means to me, if you get it early enough, that you can get less money for what they want. Otherwise, they wouldn't put a best offer. So they had it listed. Even at the price they listed it at, it was a good deal. They listed it at $1,500. Now, this, in the condition it's in, it's probably between a 2.0, maybe a 3, but probably between a 2.0 and a 2.5. Everything else is intact. As you can see, the colors are great. Marvel's value stamp is key. But he had it listed for $1,500 best offer. Now, when I search for comics, and this is one of the reasons why, you know, even though I talk about how I lose my DJ jobs and it's not always easy, the good thing about that stuff is it leaves me a lot of extra time during the day. And I'll spend hours on the newly listed and also ending soonest. But the newly listed, I'll refresh probably every 15 to 20 seconds for hours. This came up. We went back and forth on some prices. He initially, I started out at 750. They came back at like 1,300. We went back and forth until he got to 1,050. And I thought, okay, that's a great deal, but let me see what I can do. Because you always want to try and make a deal. So I made a reply to that of $999. Which at that point, because we were going back and forth and he kept doing offers. When I did $999, he just denied that offer and then no response. So I was like, all right, $999 he didn't want. He offered $1,050. I'm like, that's a great deal. I think I'm going to take it. But just in case, I don't know why I decided to do it. I decided, all right, I offered $999. He refused it. So I replied to him, and if he didn't accept it, I was going to take the $1,050. I put $1,000. $1 more than what they refused, and they accepted the offer. So they offered free shipping, and they did a great job with shipping. The taxes added an extra $70 to it. Ridiculous. But it is what it is. So I paid a grand total of $1,070. And GT Comic just said, Chris, your spec is on point. I always wanted to ask if you are reading any current series, any comics you collect for the story. I have not purchased a new modern book that's off the shelves in probably 2 years. With the way things have gone with both Marvel, DC, and Image and all these other companies with their messages, I will not contribute to financing that to say that it is okay to support that, even if I miss on opportunities to make money on them. Because as you can see, I can make money on books and not sell out my principles. Now, that's my opinion. Somebody else may disagree. Somebody may like their message. Somebody may agree with it. So I'm not saying it's wrong for you. It's just not my cup of tea. So, unfortunately, until things change, I may never buy another modern book again. Now, I'm talking about off-the-shelf modern. I mean, I'll still buy my Batman Adventure 12s and things like that because that's still considered modern. But I will not financially support companies that do things that I do not agree with. Whether you believe in that or not, you know, I'm not here to preach to you on what to do. I refuse to ever go to Disney again. And I live in Florida. I will not go to Disney World. They would have to severely do a 180 and do it for a while before I even consider it. I won't give my money to Disney Plus. And it's unfortunate. But you gotta have principles. Well, you don't got to. Your life is better off when you choose to do things the right way. Because like looking in a mirror, what you put out is what you get back. So, we won't get into deeper details with that, but I refuse to buy into any of their narratives and support them financially, because businesses don't care if you buy a product and then shoot it, or burn it, or throw it out, because they already got your money. So, like a certain alcoholic beverage, there were people shooting cans and throwing them out and stomping on them and all this other fun stuff. What do they care what you did to it if they already got your money? The money is what hurts them. So if you do not put your money in, you are not giving them the energy. It's like if you don't want a car to run, don't put fuel in it. Once it runs out of fuel, it can't go anymore. It's the fuel that keeps the car going. So it doesn't matter how valuable the car is. Without the fuel, it's not going anywhere. So it's the same thing with a business. They don't care if you buy a t-shirt and then rip it up or set it on fire, because they have your money. That's all they care about. If you don't give them the money, eventually they start realizing that, hey, we have two options. We either change and give the people what they want, or we go out of business. Plain and simple. So, I would love to know what you think about this. This is now my 6th copy of this book. The most expensive one I ever paid for was $1,800, I believe. And that came out to like a 4.0 or a 5.0. So again, this is a lower grade. Like I said, low grade, I've always said it, low grade is better than no grade. 9.8 would be an awesome find, but you're not finding a 9.8 of this for the price I paid. Which means it's going to be harder to sell and it's going to take longer to sell. I guarantee you, if I put this on the market after the Deadpool movie comes out, or during the Deadpool movie, because remember, not only is Wolverine going to be in Deadpool, and Hugh Jackman, who's playing Wolverine in Deadpool, they've stated, and unless it changes, he's actually going to be in more than one movie. He'll probably be in Secret Wars. I think that'll be the last time he does it, but I think he will also do Secret Wars. But then they're going to continue with the Wolverine character. And if things are going the way they're going, where Disney is losing so much money, they're really starting to reconsider their message, because now they're screwing over shareholders. If they start going back on the path, I do not believe there is comic book fatigue. I've seen so many people say, oh, it's comic book fatigue. I guarantee you, if they righted the ship tomorrow, and they did for example, a Disney Plus series of Daredevil with the Punisher, and use both old actors and do it just like, only maybe better than what Netflix did, I guarantee you they'd have viewers. People are only tired because they're tired of the messages and the propaganda and the things that distract them from just wanting to be entertained. I mean, not for nothing, I have been watching superhero movies since Superman opened up in 1977. I'm not tired of them. I love them. There's so many stories and so many characters they can continue to go to. But I want them to do good stories. I want good movies. I don't want to be preached to when I'm going to be entertained. And I'm definitely not going to give my money to do it. Now, again, that's just me. You can do differently. But I think things are starting to change. So you don't think if the movie does well and the character does well, and they continue to have the Wolverine in the MCU and do it well, you don't think in another 2 or 3 years I can turn around and sell this for probably double, if not triple, and sell it quickly? Low grades are easy to sell. And by the way, one of the trades that I'm looking to do, and I'll put the thumbnail up really quick so you can see some of the comics I'm looking for. You'll look on the bottom of the screen, you'll see some comics. But before I do that, because otherwise I can't show it, this is one of the books I'm willing to trade. A 4.0 Hulk 181. Because like I've said, when you have multiple copies of something, you can use one for maybe trade bait. Or sell it, which I won't do. I won't sell it. But if somebody wants to, I think like about 30 comics that I said I would trade to get some of the grails that you'll see in that scrolling screen on the thumbnail of my AI art. So, I got 2 more books on their way. Both of them I got really good deals. One of them I hope arrives okay, because let's just give you a sneak preview of what I'm not going to tell you what it is, but I won a $750 comic. They had it listed for $1,500. Because it wasn't a 9.8. It's a quote-unquote modern book, but not fresh off the stands modern. It wasn't a 9.8 because it did have some color rub on the back. So it's probably between a 9.0 and a 9.4. Got them down to $750. Told them to please mail it in a box. And they mailed it in a bubble envelope. One of those bubble mailers. And their justification is well, my comics always arrive safely, and it's a bubble mailer. I'm like, okay. So he put one thin piece of cardboard in a bubble mailer for a $750 comic. So we'll see if it arrives safely, but that should be coming. The other comic should be arriving tomorrow. If it does and it's not too late, I'll do another video tomorrow. And the other book that I just mentioned should be arriving on Thursday. So I will do a live unboxing for both of those. Technically, the third one will be an unbagging. But yeah, $750 comic. They mailed in a bubble envelope. Even after I asked them if they could do it, and I explained why. And I always do it respectfully. But this person is willing to potentially risk hundreds of dollars of loss over spending an extra $5 to $10 to mail something in a box. Blows my mind that people do it, but as they say, penny wise, dollar foolish. So if it arrives damaged, I'll get my money back, even though I'm going to miss out on an opportunity of a really good key comic. But they'll get their comic back probably worth half of what they could have sold it for because of being, I guess, careless. Oh, this is nice. Silver Age Surfer Comics just did a $10 super chat. I haven't seen one of those in a while, so it was actually kind of shocking. That's nice of you. Thank you. He says, glad to see that you are making more videos. Congrats on another great deal. Thank you. And great deals are out there, ladies and gentlemen. Take advantage of the time and the passion. Because you know what? My stocks have been failing. Bitcoin that I invested in is losing money. Gold and silver has been losing money. But then again, you don't lose what you don't sell. But you know what I mean. The prices have gone lower than what I paid for them. But I don't know those things as much as I know comics. And I always seem to do well with comic books. And I'll give you an example. When I did my auction, it was probably about 3 weeks ago, only 2 people bid for any of the auctions on the entire video. Minimum bids. No one else came in and said, I'll outbid you. So only 2 of them during the live auction sold at the minimum starting price. After the video was over, in the next couple of days, people contacted me and wanted to buy some. Because I always tell people, if you watch a live video, if something does not sell, or even something sells and they don't pay for it, contact me and we'll make it work. I ended up ultimately, if I include the $2,500 mystery package, because that came from a person who bought, they won. Well, I won't say what they won because if they're doing a video, I don't want to spoil that for them. But they bought a key issue from me from the auction, did the payment plan, paid early, and then acquired the $2,500 mystery box on top of it. I made probably about $7,500 from that one auction. So money can be made. And if you watch the auction, I mean, there's some good key comics, but I didn't have to sell my X-Men #1 to do it. Or my Fantastic Four #1. I'm saving those for basically either my dream home with my wife, or if I pass on, to make sure my wife will never have to work again. Or at the very least, make her life a lot easier. So it'll be one of the two. But to make money, you have to spend money. So with some of the leftover money I had, I mean, we could have gone on a trip or a vacation, which my wife and I don't do anyway. We don't like it. She's the same way as I do. I mean, as long as we're together, it doesn't matter where we are. I mean, I picked the right one. But we did go to Busch Gardens the other week and gave me whiplash, and my neck has been killing me ever since, but that's what happens when you get old. But she encourages and supports what I do because she knows that it was my comics that moved us here and where I bought a house cash because of comics. Know what you're investing in. Do the research. Have fun with it. Don't sit there and say, well, I bid on something and I didn't win, or I made an offer and they declined. You know how many offers I've made to people where they straight out declined, no matter what I offered? If I'm looking for a certain price for a book, if I can't get it, even if it's a book I absolutely want, I'll just say, all right, that just isn't the one I'm going to get, and I move on. It's like a relationship. It doesn't matter if 100 people you ask out say no. If you get one to say yes, and they're the one, then who cares about the other 100 that did not work out? So who cares? Don't focus on the, oh, I didn't win, or oh, I don't have the money, or I don't have this. Because if you guys have been watching my channel, you know for the past year and a half, I was borderline depressed. I hide it very well. But you see, I wasn't buying a lot of comics, and I wasn't really motivating the way I used to, because, you know, sometimes even the people that have the positive attitude can only absorb so much pain without it affecting them. But I knew if I stood my ground and continued to not give up things would come my way. And as soon as I started seeing that light at the end of the tunnel and I got excited again, things started just happening. So within a span of one day, I won 3 different key comics. One of them may or may not arrive safely. So you can do it unless you choose not to. Think of it, you have to think of life like a mirror. What energy you put out is what you're going to get back. Think of it like a mirror. When you look at yourself in the reflection, if you give your reflection the middle finger, you're getting it back at you. It will not do anything else. It won't be shocked. It won't be offended. It won't be happy. It won't be excited. It's going to do the same exact thing that you did. So it's going to give you what you gave it. If you frown at your reflection, it's going to frown back. You can't make it smile. You can't threaten it. You can't bribe it. You can't lie to it. It just, that's what it is. And that is the true secret to life. If you're at home depressed, and you're at home doing nothing, and you're at home being negative, that is the energy you're putting out. What incentive would there be? Like, for example, let's say you're a child, and I go up to you and say, what do you want others to think about you? You might think about that. All right, well, I don't know. Well, I'll give you some examples. If you're a child that is happy and laughing, what do you think the response is going to be? If you're a child that's friendly, happy, laughing, people are going to feel that energy, and they're going to come back to you with probably, at the minimum, a smile. So you're going to get positivity back from what you gave. If you have another child that throws temper tantrums, it is angry, and throws things at people, what response do you think you'll get back to that child? You're going to get people, at the very least, not going to be as loving. They're probably not going to smile. They might be irritated. They're going to think of the smiling child as somebody positive and the negative child as somebody negative. But that's only because it was a response to what was given. So if you want good things in your life, if you are not willing to give goodness out into the universe, it's not going to come back to you. And here's the secret. We are not observers of things changing because we've observed them. The universe is a representation, a mirror reflection of what we put out. So in other words, you're not looking at something changing. You're seeing what's inside of you. The world is a reflection of what you feel. Not what you hope for, not what you wish for, not what you pray for, not what you dream for, not what you cross your fingers about, not what other people tell you. What you feel is the energy you're going to put out, and that is going to come back to you. If you play catch against the wall, you have a rubber ball. If you throw it nice, it's going to bounce back and you're going to catch it. Okay? It's going to give you back what you put out. But if you take that rubber ball and with all the anger in your heart, slam it against the wall, how do you think that ball's going to come back? It's going to come back at super speeds, and it might even hit you right in the face. May even knock you out. Now, you can't curse the ball. You can't curse the wall. You can't curse God, but you can. Who did it? The energy you put out is what you got back. Or let's say it didn't hit you. But let's say you threw it that hard, it bounces back and breaks your TV. Or hits a loved one. Or hits some muscle-bound freak walking down the street. And then proceeds to beat the living daylights out of you. What if you hit a cop? What if you break a window? Or what if you just hit it, it disappears and you never find it again? The energy you put out is the energy you will get back. So if you sit at home saying, woe is me, you're not doing anything. And if you're not doing anything, why would you even deserve to get anything? This world is teaching people things wrong. I even fell for that trap for the past year and a half. Because it does get hard. I lost all but one job. At one point, I was making $150 a week. Total. People say how I've lost weight. That's because I couldn't afford to really eat food. Not as much as I used to. And I refuse to let my wife have to pay for every single thing to the point where I could just almost feel like I'm taking advantage of it. So I know what it's like. And that's why you could see it reflected off of my videos. They weren't inspiring. They weren't entertaining. Some of them I was just doing because I didn't even feel like doing them. I was just like, all right, I better put out a video. But you could see the difference because it's a testament of when you are ready to decide, today is the day I realize, because you need real eyes to realize, that life is nothing more than a reflection of what energy you put out. And by energy, it's not hocus pocus, it's not tree hugging, superstitious hippie nonsense. It is reality. You walk down the street and a stranger's coming towards you and you look at him with a smile and say, "Hi, how are you? Nice to see you. I hope you have a wonderful day." You're going to make that person feel really good. They may even respond in kind. If you do that same scenario with a person walking towards you across on the street and you say, "I don't like the way you look. I think you're a jerk. I really want to hurt you. I hope you fall and hurt yourself." How do you think the response is going to be? You think it's going to be as positive as the first event? Or do you think that person may want to fight you or may want to talk back to you? Or, you could just ruin their day. Is that the legacy you want to lead? So if you want to get things that make you happy, you have to realize if you get something that makes you happy, it's just a reflection of how you feel. So if you feel happy, you're going to get things that make you happy. If you feel sad, you're sending out the energy of sadness, and that's all you're going to get. Just imagine if you go on a blind date and you meet a person, and the first impression of that person is they're depressed, they're angry, they're bitter, they're sarcastic, they're rude. Do you want to think you're ever going to see that person again? I don't care if they have millions of dollars in their pocket. I don't care if they're the most handsome or the most gorgeous person you've ever met. First impressions matter. You go on a first date and the person is cheerful and happy and friendly and attentive and caring and focuses on you and makes you feel like a king or queen, you're going to feel good. Now just imagine if you were the rude one to them. You think they'd ever want to see you again? And you could sit there and say, "Oh, this always happens to me. I can't find the right one." Well, if you're rude and obnoxious, or you're insecure and you say, if you have it in your mind, "Well, this date, every date I've had always doesn't work out, so I'm sure this is going to be the same exact thing." Well, that's the energy you're going to put out. Those people are going to pick up on that, whether you say anything or not, because your body language and the way you portray yourself is going to show it. The person's going to want nothing to do with you, so you become a self-fulfilling prophecy. You ever wonder about that, the self-fulfilling prophecy? It's because you're putting out that energy, it's being received, and it's coming back to you. So what a surprise, you got the very thing you already assumed you were going to get. Be careful what you wish for, you might get it. So if you want things like this, like I said before, you don't need money. It helps. But again, I don't have millions of dollars. I don't have close to thousands of dollars. But I always will have a way. Timing is everything. Belief in yourself is everything. And I hope this helps you. Maybe that's why I got 21 likes on this video. Normally I get 10, 15. Maybe people actually hear this and it resonates with them. And here's the beautiful thing. It could resonate with nobody. It could resonate with one. It could resonate with all. It won't affect me. But what I'm doing is I'm putting out positive energy. unless you are just a straight out hater, I pretty much can safely say that everybody listening to this right now and hearing these messages are not sitting there angry and not sitting there angry at me for what I'm saying. Those that may be are just angry at themselves, and they need to push that energy out. I just refuse to take it anymore. So if somebody gives you negative energy and you take it, don't blame them. You're the one that took it. That's like somebody offering you a live hand grenade. Well, if you take that live hand grenade, who cares if they knew it was going to explode, wanted it to explode? If you took it, you're going to receive the damage. That's not their fault. You can't say, oh, I trusted that person. They gave me a live hand grenade and it blew off my hand. Woe is me. No, you made a poor choice. Own up to it and never do it again. Failure is life's way of saying, hey, McFly, stop doing that. But if you don't take responsibility, you will never learn. And if you don't learn something, what happens? You have to keep learning it. If you fail the 5th grade, unless you quit, you have to repeat 5th grade until you learn it to pass on to the next level. It is the same thing with life. So if you are receiving the same thing over and over again, it means you're not learning the lesson, you're not paying attention, you're not taking responsibility that you're putting out the energy that you're receiving back, and you're going to keep being left back until you learn the lesson. When you stop blaming others, when you stop blaming society, when you stop blaming crisis of oil or gas prices or, the religions or the sexual choice of others or whatever, and you start taking responsibility for your own choices and you focus on yourself, you're never going to have the world change, because the world will never change. You change the world. And that's why most people will never succeed, because they're trying to change the world. If the world is a reflection of you, that's like you looking at your reflection in the mirror and trying to threaten that mirror to smile while you're frowning at your own reflection. Good luck with that. You will spend your entire life and die never doing a damn thing to change it. You cannot change the reflection. You want your reflection to smile? You have to smile. And then the reflection automatically smiles back. If you point at that reflection, it points right back at you. You cannot threaten it. You cannot convince it. You cannot guilt trip it. Life doesn't work that way. And that is why mirrors were created. Mirrors are a way for you to see a physical manifestation of energy and how the universe works. You see a reflection, you cannot change it. You can only change yourself. So if you're angry, your reflection will be angry. You want your reflection to smile? You have to smile. So you're not changing the reflection. You're changing yourself, and you're seeing the results of that change in you. Now, if you take that analogy and see it as reality of the world, you cannot change the world. You can only change your perception, and that will automatically change the world around you. Now, that doesn't mean all of a sudden the earth will turn into an aquatic wasteland, or it will turn into a utopia, but you will deal with it in a different manner. It's almost like breaking up in a relationship and you say, oh, I'll never love again, until you meet somebody else who probably is going to be better. And then at one point you forget that person that you said you would never ever fall in love with anybody else again in your life. There's an old Eagles song, and I love this lyric, and it's so true, where they say, they will never forget you until somebody new comes along. Then they're forgotten. So where you put your energy and where you want to put your focus, if you want to listen to a bunch of people that basing things on fear, basing things on vanity, basing things on what other group think, or monetary gain, if that's your focus, Good luck with that. You reap what you sow. And that is why there is even a kid's fairy tale that you all know about a good old row, row, row your boat. What is the last line of that? Life is but a dream. In other words, you think it's real. It's a reflection. Everything that seems real is nothing more than electrons, neutrons, photons. In other words, energy, light, vibration. This is nothing new. They've known about this for thousands of years. This looks solid, but it's because the energy that's condensed in my cells are like sand, compressed, so it can't go through. But if I was to put a electron microscope and zoom in on this, these particles would seem so far apart that you'd think you were looking in outer space. It's all an illusion. So if you want things like this in your life, you realize if you want to attract it, you have to have the right energy for it. If you sit there and roll your eyes, if you sit there and say, I can't do it, or it's not going to happen, you're right. I don't know the philosopher that said it, but they said whether you're wrong or you're right, you're right. So you might want to try differently if what's working, what you're doing is not working for you. I'm not here to brag. This is not about that. It is about showing people that even people like myself who lost all of their jobs, who was getting to the point where they were depressed almost to a suicidal thought process. I mean, I feel bad for my wife having to deal with some of my feeling sorry for myself at certain points. So I've been there. I'm not living the high life. I'm not living in Trump Towers on some beachfront property swimming in my $50,000 swimming pool. I live in a small little manufactured home for the time being. But things can always change in an instant. You are not what you were 5 minutes ago. And you will never be what you're not in the future. You are only here now. So, if an hour ago you were sad, that's not you anymore. You are in the now. If you relive the past, you keep bringing it back to life. If you want to focus on it, that's perfectly fine. But then you should say, what can I learn from that experience so I can move forward? Silver Age Surfer says, if you believe you can do something or can't do something, you are right either way. Now here's the difference. Change the word believe into know. Because if you think about the word believe, write out the word believe. The word lie is straight in the middle. Because whether you believe in something or don't believe in something, you don't know. And that's what the world is trying to trick all of us into doing. Is not knowing, but believing. If you are religious at all, and even if you're not, you'll know the expression, know thyself. It doesn't say, believe thyself. It says, know thyself. When you get rid of a belief system and turn it into a knowing, knowledge, because knowledge is wisdom, knowledge is power, your life will change. And I'll give you an example. If you have a child, and I don't and never will have a child, unfortunately, but it is what it is. If you have a child, do you believe you love them, or do you know you love them? And when you put it in that perspective, you will know the difference between a belief and knowledge. So if you believe you can or can't get this book, you're always going to have that belief. Can't change it unless you say, I know I'm going to. Like when I get these key comics, I don't go looking and say, I'm going to get a Hulk 181. I just go on there and say, there is going to be a deal. I have to work hard to try and get it, but it will show up. And I don't get distraught at the 100 different comics that I look at that I don't get, or I don't win, or the bids don't get accepted. I don't focus on that. I move on and keep looking. And then I got this one. Then I got another one a couple hours later. And I got another one a couple hours later. And that was good enough for now. You can do it. Unless you feel that you can't. Your feelings are your true power. Get rid of this. Like Yoda said, luminous beings are we. And when he was trying to train Luke Skywalker by trying to lift up the X-Wing out of the swamp in Dagobah, Luke says he can't do it because it's too heavy. Yoda tries to convince him he can do it. His size matters not. And Yoda, being much more than Luke, gets the very heavy ship out of the water with using the Force back onto land. And Luke says, I don't believe it. And that's when Yoda said, that's why you fail. These are messages. You can call it entertainment. You can call it coincidence. I'm not here to tell you how to think. I'm here to show you a different path that you can choose to walk on if you so desire. You know, there is not one way to get somewhere. There's multiple ways. If you want to take the long way or take the wrong way, enjoy the trip. If you want to go the right way and the quick way, trust here and not here. Trust yourself, not others. I don't want you to even trust me. If this does not resonate with you, then it doesn't matter. Or if you're a person that's watching this just to thumb it down because you hate me for whatever reason, and you refuse to listen to the advice even if it could help you, that's your choice. Everything is a choice, but be responsible for the choices you decide to make. Because remember, even if you don't make any choice at all, you've still made a choice. I would love to know what you thought about this video. I want to thank all of you for taking the time to watch and participate in the live chat. 29 awesome people were kind enough to hit the like button. That shows me that the majority of people watching this felt a positive energy coming out of this, and maybe somebody might take something positive out of it. Do you think that would have happened if I would have been here all depressed and all angry and all bitter? So maybe something will come out of this, maybe it won't. I didn't do it to get anything. But that doesn't mean positive things might not come my way. Or somebody may watch this and say, you know what? Maybe I will order a mystery box. Maybe I will do a trade with this person. Or maybe I will just say, thank you for your words. You've inspired me to become better. And because of your advice, I now did this, this, and this that I never thought I could do. Thank you for being that person. You can't do that being angry, depressed. You're not going to get that. So thank you so much. I would love to hear what you thought about this comic. Wait the next day or so, and I'll show you the other comics when they arrive. Make deals happen, but put the energy into it, knowing that it's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when. And if you have that mindset, because remember, sometimes an echo takes time to come back. So life may test you to see if you're full of poop or not. Saying, oh, well, I changed my mindset and instantly I didn't get everything I wanted. Well, maybe you truly didn't believe in it, or you didn't know it. Maybe that was the problem. Maybe you did believe in it, but you didn't know it. So life can check you, test you. Don't give up, keep going. Thanks for watching. As you could see, this is not the typical comic book channel. If you appreciate that, you can hit the subscribe button. You can join my Patreon if you want to. Watch some of my old videos. There are plenty of them to teach you. I'm not going to be the most popular person on this platform. I don't have special effects. I don't have wonderful cameras all over the place. I'm just a regular guy who loves to share his thoughts with those willing and wanting to listen. And if you appreciate that, hitting that like button is great. Subscribing is awesome. Comments are always going to be read, even if I do not respond to them. Let's give another surprise subscriber shout out. We're going to go with Dan's X-Men Comics. You are also today's surprise subscriber shout out, which means if you want to post in the comment section of this video when it gets uploaded, You could post a link to your YouTube channel or video if you make them. If you don't want to do that or don't have a channel and you want to post a link to one of your social networks, you can do that. And if you don't have that, or you'd rather show a link to something you sell on, eBay or Amazon or what have you, you could post the link there. Now, keep in mind, I always have to approve any links before they will be put on the comment section, because I want to make sure no one's trying to send any spam information. So if you see a link on the comment section, it means it has been approved. So go support them. Go give them a view. Go see what they have to sell. Go follow them on their social networks. It'll make their day. And if you do something that makes somebody else happy, I promise you, eventually it's going to come back to you. Even if it's just the same thing. Even if it just makes you feel good, you did something that most people just don't stop to think about. And if you start doing that little bit of kindness, you'd be amazed at the energy that will come back to you. And that is better than any drug you will ever take in your entire life. And that's why you should get high on life. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you thought about the AI art. And again, I'm going to let the scrolling screen on the bottom show all of the comics I'm looking for if anybody wants to do a trade. If you want to see all the comics that I am interested in trading with, go check out the video I did about 2.5 weeks ago. And you'll see every one of them is a graded book. And Hulk 181 is one of the books I'm willing to trade for one of my personal grails. So there's on the screen some of the books I'm looking for. If anybody wants to do a trade, go watch that video and contact me. You can contact my email, my business email, at peacefulfeelings@yahoo.com. Check the description of this video. You can see all discount codes I offer all of my subscribers and non-subscribers. And if you want to join my Patreon or anything like that, that's awesome. I think right now I have maybe one Patreon person. I don't do it for the money, but anything helps. Have a wonderful day. Keep collecting. Low grade is better than no grade. And do not forget, it is not you, it is not I, it is We Love Comics. Thank you for participating in this and watching for this long. Some of you love my rants, and I am glad that I can do them for people who appreciate what I talk about. And that's my comic video. Have a wonderful day, everybody. I'll see you.